Hi, my name is Aida Izzati. I will present to you about case study number 3. Our team have 5 members, include me. Each of the multiple participants in the process of planning, designing, funding, constructing and operating physical facility has a different perspective for construction. So engineer role is to exercise close supervision to ensure that the work are constructed in accordance with the contract. So the understanding how the various aspects is the process interest is beneficial. So the importance of successful contractor and engineer partnership cannot be underestimated, and it can develop successful partnership and should be rational and capable of carrying out his responsibility. Next, about the problem statement. So, engineer collaborate with the electrician and other contractor on various aspects of construction project. So, identify the area where conflict between the resident electrical engineer staff and electrical contractor personnel could arise in this case study. Also express to the whether a good connection may be created without violating the code of ethics. Next, the objective to identify the area in which conflict between the resident electrical engineer staff and electrical contractor staff. Number 2, to develop more knowledge about the Board of Ethical Review case and to understand case study in detail with corresponding act and regulation.
Generally, there are some issue or conflict that will likely involve between engineer and a contractor. The question asks us to identify the area of conflict or the disagreement between the resident engineer and the contractor. Then what can be developed as in our view whether the good relationship can be achieved without infringing on the code of ethics. Well, disagreement between the resident engineer and contractor during construction of a project are common. This is because they have their own objective, which is the contractor aim is to maximize profit using their available resource, and the engineer role is to exercise close supervision in order to ensure that the works are constructed in accordance with the contract. Here are the example for area of conflict or disagreement. Human factor is one kind of a problem. It is true that when one is dealing with a certain job, one should be aimed at the job itself and should not be influenced by the personal character of other person involved in the job. What should engineer propose way to overcome the conflict? They should really work as a team and not against each other. Even though their aim is different, they will have to be professional by working together with the respect of working aspect quality and not being influenced by the other person's behavior. These are the example of the code of ethics that we can retrieve from legal source. So this is case study 1. Let me summarize the story for you. Contractor X is also a profession in professional engineering, but he hired engineer A to design and seal the footing to support basement wall. When the proposal is seen by the contractor X, he is not happy and will likely to suggest the 10-foot piles under the footing. But the engineer A does not agree because it will cause a broken to the foundation of structure, but contractor X still insists on putting the 10-foot piles. Later on, engineer A found out that contractor X wanted to use 10-foot pile was because of his wish to advertise the enhancement structure support in his marketing material. So, we can see on my right side, the identification of the problem, code of ethics involved, and problem solving to this case study. For problem 1, we have the contractor X insists that engineer A designed to include the 10-foot piles, while engineer A already advised that it will likely damage the structure of the basement. Next, problem solving is contractor X should acknowledge and accepted what have been advised by engineer A because he came with fact and circumstances that will happen next. So contractor X also has a profession. Engineer should never selfish to benefit himself by the marketing material he wished for. Here are the code of ethics should be applied to them, which is from NSPA 3 Roman 1A, BN section 5.7 and ABET section 5.0. The second problem is engineer A knows that the contractor X insists to have the 10-foot piles because he wanted to advertise the marketing material itself. In terms of problem solving, likewise, contractor X should not take selfish to benefit of any reason that can bring damage to the structure because the proposal was supposed handled by engineer A. Engineer A also have to brief the consequences of having the contractor X wish by showing, maybe through simulation, about bringing the damage to the project. So the code of ethics that can be applied here is from NSP 3 Roman 3A, ABET section 1.D1, BN section 5.3 and ABET section 4.1. Next, Kamarul will present the coming case study 2 for you all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhamad Kamarul Izham bin Mohamad Kamal. I will explain about case study 2. So this is example script for case study 2. I will summarize the story. Engineer A realized that his engineering design was not so detailed according to the drawing. Then his design was changed by contractor and the final component for the project also changed without engineering A knowledge. The project manager, which is the also contractor, has 35 years experience but did not have engineering degree and unable to perform engineering calculation. Even though they are not required engineer A to sign or seal the document, he will he will proceed the project as well. So the problem statement or the area of conflict for this case study is Engineer A did not make the clear communication with his construction manager, the engineer manager and the VP because his engineering design were being changed following his final review with the field personnel and item were not installed in accordance with approved drawing. So for the problem solving, engineer A should always update the drawing project with project manager and make sure his design will tally to all manager without any difference between among themselves. For code of ethics, engineer A has break the code of ethics in NSPE to Roman 1A and BME section 5.4 and ABET 1C that have been stated on my left side. Another problem for this situation is some of the manager of this project did not have knowledge or input and unable to perform about engineering calculation even though they have 35 years of field experience. So, to solve the problem, the person which is the contractor manager must entry construction personnel and should focus on getting the basic cost out of the way first. The costs are available through the Occupational Safety and Health Administration (OSHA). So, the contractor and his team have break the code of ethics in NSPE 3 Roman 2B and BM 2C and ABET 2C. That's all from me to discuss case the study 2, and I will pass to my friend Farid Fahmi. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Muhamad Farid Fahmi bin Ahmad, and today I will continue to discuss on case study number 3. On my left side, showing the simple case that I get from NSPE. Long story short, for the case, Engineer A need to make a presentation and response to question from City Planning Board for waterfront development project. Engineer A highlight the improved environmental effect but not the drawback of this project, such as increased traffic, air pollution and noise pollution. Engineer A does not volunteer to this fact. Based on this case, I found there are two areas of conflict. Engineers are frequently called upon to provide public testimony on technical and other issues affecting public health, safety and welfare. Engineer A contributes to valuable perspective to such discussion by providing technical insight into issues that affect people's life. The first areas of conflict that I found is Engineer A is hiding the full facts from the public. He does not being honest and truthful to the testimony and statement that he made. This is wrong because he broke the code of ethics of NSPE to Roman.3.A, BM 3.1, ABET 3.B, and IEM number 6. All of this code has stated that engineer should be objective and truthful in the professional reports, statement and testimony. Engineer A should give the full information and facts by himself rather than waiting for others to ask for it. The second problem is Engineer A does not act as a trustable agent. He should aware that his action can harm the safety and health of public and environment. This action actually violates codes of ethics of BM 4.0 and SPE to Roman.4, IM number 11, ABET 4.1, and IM number 2. Engineer A need to be honest and truthful to their work of employer. Engineer A should focus on future development in terms of public safety and environment. By doing this, Engineer A will highly regarded by community as will the engineer work. It improve the image of engineers. And that's all for me. And I will pass to my friend Faris. Thank you.
I would like to discuss the fourth case study that involves engineer and contractor. Okay, in this case study, the State Department of Transportation is seeking a design build contractor for a specialized construction project. So there will be only one contractor will be chosen based on their proposal to do this project. So the situation is there is engineer A. Engineer A has an expertise in this specialized construction project and has been contacted by 3 contractors who are competing with each other. So from this situation, we want to see the ethical issue, the code of ethics and the solution that can be taken to prevent this ethical problem. We move on to the ethical problem, or we call problem statement. So the first one is the engineer might consider the unsafe design proposal from the contractor. This is wrong. The engineer should always prioritize the safety of the community in choosing the design for the construction project. It is also stated in this code of ethics to prioritize the safety. To solve this problem, the engineer should choose the proposal through one committee that appointed, so that unanimous decision votes are obtained without any interest for any certain parties, and to guarantee the safety of the design for that construction project. The next problem statement is engineers' involvement with more than one contractor could also create a conflict of interest because engineer has the private information, so it will impact decision making and engineering services. Solution for this problem is engineer should disclose to each of the contractor that he or she is participating in more than one proposal, and also protect the confidential information. This is the correct tactics for this problem.
In the conclusion, a good relationship should be maintained between staff of the resident engineer and the staff of the contractor. Engineer adhere to a code of ethics for a variety of reasons, keeping safety, integrity and honesty, as well as making right decision in difficult situations, and to ensure that they are honest with all of their dealing and always have their client best interest in mind. Next, they prioritize the safety of security members when doing duties, and also a healthy working relationship requirement appreciation and knowledge of the other party issue. That's all from us. Thank you.